Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bargain Bin, a show about speedrunning games all under $20. I'm your host, Midnight Vesper, and if you're new here, here's how this whole thing works. For more current/digital games, we'll be using digital stores like Steam, itch.io, GOG, Epic, etc., to look at the MSRP price of the game. For retro games, we'll be using a wide assortment of price charting websites looking at the loose price or loose count of the game. We do not count any sales or discounts as they vary from time of purchase. Do not forget that we did just end Summer Games Done Quick 2023. But if you forgot, or if you still want to support Doctors Without Borders, our donation page is still up until tonight, June the 5th. So if you still want to donate, there's still that opportunity is out there. And of course, if you missed out on anything in talking about Summer Games Done Quick, you can always hit up the VODs on YouTube. And of course, finally, speaking of YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, head on over to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Now, for today's show here on the Bargain Bin, I thought I'd change things up just a smidge. We're still doing a little bit under the $20, but we are doing Summer Games Done Quick backup runs. We have two games on our agenda for tonight, and these games were backup runs for Summer Games Done Quick 2023. Later on, we'll be showcasing the very fun Bayonetta, the original Bayonetta, but now we're going to be showcasing Turok 2 Seeds of Evil with Chaos Wolf. How are you doing today, Chaos Wolf?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I got back to my room about 90 minutes ago, so it's been a journey when getting up at like 5 in the morning to an airport, flying all the way back here, and getting straight up ready for this show. But I'm excited for this.
Okay, so here I am in the first level of the Port of Adia. There's some important things that I need to explain here for everyone in the audience to understand. Otherwise, you will have no clue what is going on. So we start out right there, and then right here is this door we cannot pass through. And it turns out that leads to the hub area. Now, in order to break this game, to demonstrate this, I'm going to enable and cheat. This, of course, is not allowed. And in fact, Adon will berate us for using cheats.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
So I just activated fly mode. And as the name implies, I can fly around. But it also allows us to pass through doors. So there it is. And if we go forward, we're now in the hub area. Now, why is this important? Well, although console commands are not allowed in the run, there is a way to acquire fly mode, and the answer might surprise you. So I am going to go back to the title screen now. I'm going to start a new game. Now, the game will ask me, it'll say, cheats are enabled, would you like to disable them? So timing is going to start, and when I click yes, in 3, 2, 1, go. So to start off, I'm going to spam space to skip through this cutscene.
Port of Adia. Your mission objectives are...
And you'll see right away, like many games from the 90s, we strafe run, or many FPS games from the 90s, we strafe run. And we're going to take a grenade to the face from that dinosaur right there. And we're going to pass up that objective right there. We do not need to do it. All we need to do is collect keys. And now, as we come in here, we need to lose 2 lives. And there's no death pit for us to drop into, so we're going to rely on this meat grinder here of reptoids. And they're going to turn us into a nice Turok puree. So there's 1 death. And then we're going to come along here. Hopefully get this guy's attention. He'll throw a grenade. We don't want him to start infighting, so we're going to keep an eye on him. He looks like he's behaving. Okay, that's good. And now we can continue on. We're going to intentionally game over right here. We're going to drop down to 0 lives.
Pistol.
So we got to line up to that tunnel up ahead. I'm going to do a quick safety save. I'm gonna listen to it in audio cue here. Now, what the heck did I just do? So, during the game over screen, we have no idea why, but it gives us fly mode. So we are blindly hoverboard surfing our dead body up there into the teleporter, and it revives us in a state that we call zombie mode. So right now I have 0 health, 0 lives. I cannot be killed. Although it displays 0, I'm still losing health, but it goes into the negative. It's just not shown in game. And now the only thing we gotta do is just collect the rest of the keys and collect another life and cure our zombie mode. And to cure zombie mode, we need to either visit Adon, which is the that's a woman's voice that you hear talking every time I pick up a weapon. She can set her health to 100 and cure zombie mode, or we can get a full health, which is a orange cross. Now, the game over abuse that I did there, that's just a general term for everybody, but in the Turok community, we call it a bell slide because it was named after the bell tolls who discovered it. And we have some other interesting tech that was named after various community members. Personally, I didn't find anything. I'm just the world record holder and the cutest runner. Anyway, so continuing on here. Let's see. Right. So another source of speed tech we do. Anytime I'm going up an incline, a slope, I will spam jump, and that's, of course, we just move faster. Right here, I'm going to... I kind of jumped a little too soon. So there's a switch in that room, but we can activate it on the other side. Switches are activated similar to, like, in Quake. Like, you just approach it and it activates. There's no need to put any inputs in. Alright. Now, another thing that happens in zombie mode is that we can drop off into a death pit, and since we've already skipped the flag for respawn, what will instead happen is we build up a ton of velocity, and the game, the Kex engine, this is what was ported onto. The Kex engine is very good about keeping the player in bounds, and so that's what happened there. It allowed me to skip that entire catwalking section. And there we are, curing full health, or curing zombie mode with the full health. And we've only got one key left to grab. So there we go, we take that grenade. This hallway here, I don't know why, we're moving too fast, I guess. Their AI doesn't wake up. I'm gonna grab this guy's attention. Let's see, is he gonna throw a grenade? No. There we go, we got one in the back. Okay, I'm gonna jump into this fountain, grab all of that. Normally we would be getting everything's attention and trying to drop our health even lower, but because this is just a showcase, we want to play it safe and ensure that I actually finish the run. Otherwise, I would be playing it way riskier. This is a very hard category, so we want to make sure that we finish. And I'm going to dodge this full health while picking up the extra life. There's a grenade to the face. And here we are. We didn't do any of the objectives, so it puts us right back here where we need to go. And now we have one simple bell slide where we just hold forward. And here we are. Completed level 1 without doing a single objective and having the keys to access level 2 and 3.
Nice.
Now, so I just entered level 3. We do the levels out of order. So we do 1, 3, 5, and then the even levels. Okay, Turok, come on. Hang on. It might be doing that glitch. There's a very rare glitch where it will not let you... Yeah, I think that's what it gave me. So let me... Alright. Anyway, moving along. Oh, you're just gonna do that to me everywhere, huh? See, it wouldn't be a live event if something like that happened. Yeah, there's a glitch where you cannot get out of the water. And that has been the source of many resets for me. But, yeah, as I was saying, so we come here mainly for weapons. We need the Shredder, and then the following level that we do, Hive of the Mantids, not only is the most technical and difficult levels, it also provides the Scorpion missile launcher, which is another very useful weapon. So that was the Shredder I just walked under, but it's out of reach, so we're going to get another one later. But if you were playing casually, that would be where you would get it first. So there's another key, and in this next area, we're going to go into this poison water here. Usually you would have to get... So, let me back up a second. So, Turok 2 has a sort of Metroidvania progression system where you need talismans to give you special powers in order to progress. So, but since we can't die in the poison water, we just go ahead and get this out of the way and grab that, it's called the Primogen Key. That gives us access to the Primogen boss, which is the only thing required to actually finish the game. So I'm fighting against the current on the way back. Once we get out of this tunnel, I'll be able to have full control again. Alright, there we go. Now we have full speed.
Your oxygen is low.
Another thing I grab is the grenade launcher, and that's just really for convenience sake. There's a couple things we gotta take out, and headshots with the plasma rifle are not that reliable, and we have to conserve ammo for other weapons. So, grenade launcher is a good choice.
I do enjoy that when you're watching it on the map, like the map the map moves along with you, but it's your character is always centered, and it's just a little tiny, cute little stick figure.
So, yeah, the map helps me to not only navigate, because it's hard to see in the water like that, but it also helps us keep our line straight. So a skip I did there, I failed it the first try, but it saves, I want to say, around a minute and a half. So here's our Shredder. This is essentially a upgrade to the shotgun, and it causes the shots to bounce around and ricochet, and it's extremely broken. Like, it even got nerfed from the initial release of the game, and used to bounce off of enemies, and you could, like, rapidly kill bosses with it. It was so disgustingly strong.
So I did have a question from a lot of people in chat that were asking, what are the similarities or differences in terms of the speedrun between the remastered version on PC and any other version, whether it's like the remastered version on like PlayStation, Switch, if they're on there, or the original versions that came out?
Now, since this is on the Kex engine, none of these tricks that I'm doing can be done in the original. In fact, there's maybe 2 runs total that we know of on Speed Demo's archive of the original version.
Wow.
It's really not... has not really been explored much. So this game, this remaster is where the speedrun really took off. As for the other stuff, this is a very hard bell slide right here, by the way. So we'll get back to that question. There we go. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So here's Adon.
Greetings,
Um,
Turok. How
So
may
on the console versions, there's a few things that can't be done.
Help granted.
I forget exactly what
Help
the
granted.
specifics are. I think maybe there's no strafe running or something like that. Like there's no movement increase from it. Other than that, I don't think anybody's really
Hive of
attempted to
Mantis.
run it on console. It's mainly just been a
Destroy
PC
three
thing.
queen plasma rifle. Sniper capability.
Well, if anyone's
enabled.
interested, if they have it,
Force field
I think it'd
down.
be really interesting to see if there would be anything similar, different or same.
Force field down.
Okay, so Hive of the Mantids is definitely the most technical level. So that trick I just did, where we call it a crouch shot, where we can kind of shoot out of bounds, and it'll go back into bounds and destroy the generator. There's another way to do that, but I can't quick save currently. It's disabled because I essentially have 0 lives, and the game won't let you quick save. All right, now I'm gonna lower my health a little bit, not too much, because we're playing it a little safe, and we're gonna jump over that full health. And we just picked up the extra life, so I'm going to grab this guy's attention. Our health's a little bit high, but that's what we want. We want to play it safe. So you might take a bit, but that's fine. Go.
Nice job.
All right. So we get a damage boost from this guy if he cooperates this time. He's been weird this week. Let's see, left, and then okay, he's supposed to go over there and fire. He may be off. Yeah, he is off.
Oh no.
It's okay, though. That doesn't save a whole lot of time. Normally, you're supposed to run around and hit switches, so maybe, I want to say 10 seconds of time that it saves. Still, like, third try wasn't bad. Alright, and I'm going to grab those, because we, part of the speedrun, we want to manage our ammo. So that we ensure that we get red shells, because they're very important for taking out things like that. Now, if I did this correctly, we should get red shells down here at this ammo spawner. There we go. That's what we want.
Those type of red shells. I've been playing Mario Party on the plane going home from summer games, and you just said picking up red shells. My mind just went, oh, really? Those are in this game? And then I saw them and went, oh, those.
Yeah, the explosive shells. Okay, so 8's good. I'm going to pick up a life here. I'm going to come through here and dodge this full health. I'm going to kill all 4 of these manta drones. Aim at the floor because it'll bounce up many times, exploding every single time. Killing that soldier very quickly. Normally we just hang back and shoot them on easy mode, but they have way more health, so that's the best way to approach that. And if anybody's wondering why we play on hard for this category, it's because the enemies do more damage. We don't do this on hardcore because you can't get extra lives, and also zombie mode trivializes it, so we've actually banned it for hardcore.
Oh.
Yep, no zombie mode for hardcore. Here's the generator room. We have to do several tricky shots. You can aim kind of in the center here. Take out 2 at once.
Force field generator destroyed.
here's our Scorpion missile launcher. Fires a volley of 3 missiles, but if you have multiple targets, you can take up to 3 at once. And here's the bitrate tunnel. It's probably going to look terrible on stream. There's nothing I can do about it.
I'll let you know when it hits on my feed. I really enjoy how when you get to a certain point, he goes, "I am Turok." I don't know why. It just makes me smile. And honestly, it looked fine.
Yeah. Every time you collect a extra life, he will proclaim that he is Turok, which is actually, many people don't know this. It's actually a title, not a name. Our protagonist's name is Joshua, and he carries the mantle of Turok. Grab just one of those and the Firestorm Cannon. Now coming up is a really interesting one. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to explain it beforehand or after I do it. So, right. So when you fall into a death pit, when you have zombie mode, you build up a lot of velocity. And if you buffer your jump, you can, whenever the game returns you to the height of your fall, you can apply all of that built up velocity and do some pretty crazy things. First try, there we go.
Nice.
That's scary.
It looked bad.
So So there's an invisible walkway here. You need a talisman called the Eye of Truth. And it's out of reach unless you perform that trick there, where we intentionally fall off. And we're doing this again because the game will put us out of bounds and then push us forward to that teleport to leave the room. And that initial movement at the beginning can kind of bounce around like a pinball. And that was why it was named Riff Ball, after the person who discovered it, Riffampin. Now we've got everything we need, and we're gonna leave here. Let me see if I didn't get the bounce shot. So here we are. I gotta take a sip of water. My mouth is dry from all this talking.
Hey, hydration is important, and chat always. Make sure you always hydrate. And if we get a second, do not forget also real quick, Juneteenth, our annual event celebrating Black Independence, is coming up on June 17th and 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Join us as we highlight the amazing talents of the Black speedrunning community.
Slaughter by the river. Your mission objectives are as follows.
Okay, so we've done all the odd levels. Now we're back here at level 2. This section is really scary. There's these mortar towers that can do a ton of damage to us on the high difficulties. I did do a... Okay, yeah, I'm already hit. There are some health pickups we can recover from this. And I did safety save, like, right at the start, so if... Yeah, that was a bad angle. Really bad angle. It's random where they'll shoot at. So, and they pretty much just saturated the entire pathway. Made it impassable. So that's unfortunate RNG.
It happens. Now, I noticed that, like you said earlier, you skipped a couple levels, now you're going back and doing them. Is that something that you can just do, like, throughout casually playing the game, or is it in, like, an unlockable feature that you have to get to beforehand?
Anybody can do that for their first playthrough. The game, like in the first level, you pick up the keys for levels 2 and 3. So as long as the game gives you the keys, you can go progress however you want. But the reason why we do it in this order, of course, is for just optimization and getting the right weapons. One last set of mortars. I'm going to pick up that. Okay, we're good. We're good. So, people who've played this before remember the Triceratops. Actually, it's not a Triceratops. It's a cousin to the Triceratops. It starts with an S. I always forget the name of it. It said it stables at the beginning of the level, but we don't take it because it's faster to just go on foot. Again, we're just optimizing. There's a lot of slopes there, a lot of ramps, and I just spam jump going up them. And there's no collision on that bridge, so we can just jump right over. And I'm going to do a quick safety save in case this water kills me, because we still don't have the Breath of Life talisman. I am getting my timing way off. There we go.
Nice.
Take it.
First try.
Take a gun or a grenade to the face there. Come on. 25. Hit me a little bit more. Alright, that's good enough. 17. Now, normally you have to go around, collect these 2 keys, slot them into there, wait for this thing to open. But we can line up, and I'm using the mini-map to help me. That raptor missed. There he goes. They are extinct, so he's not very bright. Alright. The hitbox for this switch is very generous, so I just shoot it on the wall there. That lowers the bridge down. It is possible to jump over to this from there, but it's... Well, I'm the world record holder and I've never done it. Not even once. Not in practice, not in a run. There's a few people that can do it, and I always make the argument that they have some kind of special version of the game that allows them to. But I just go around.
Joy. Full health.
So we cured zombie mode and collected an extra life. Now I've readied up the Firestorm Cannon, because it has the unique property of being able to shoot through walls and floors. And we're going to set up right here in this spot. I have a pretty much a pixel that I'm looking at here. Okay. And I pulled up the console not to actually enter anything in it, but we're allowed to look at it for information. And basically I just looked to see that a door is opened, meaning that my shooting the switch through the floor was successful. And that saved us from swimming around, and saves us about 20 seconds, I think. I got one still on my tail. Being really annoying. Alright, back to the shredder. And we're going to drop our health a little bit here by letting these spiders gather around us. Alright.
Oh, what if you want to pet those spiders? They look adorable.
Well, if you think those are adorable, wait till the next level.
I can't wait.
And we're gonna line up here. This is another required objective here, where we kill a demon called the Sister of Despair that's causing all the undead to rise. But if you just line up there, you can perform that skip, and that one's just simply called Sister Skip. One thing I did not mention, so after going into zombie mode, our health is exactly 0, and we can still pick up these and cure it So that's why I'm dodging them. But I want to intentionally take a few hits here. Okay, that should be good. So yeah, if you accidentally pick up even just the small silver health that gives you a +2, you can cure zombie mode, and you don't want that.
I mean, while this did come out at the same time as a Resident Evil series, I think the difference of zombies is known in the sense of that one you don't necessarily want zombies. This one you want zombies. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Now a little interesting bit of trivia about those zombies. So in the original N64 version, not the I believe it was the black cartridge, and then it was later re-released with a gray cartridge. You could actually, so the zombies have this attack where they throw blood at you. In the black cartridge version, you could turn off blood and they won't be able to hurt you.
Really?
Yes. So in the gray cartridge, it does. There's I think a few other fixes, but that is one thing they fix in it. Okay, so this we're actually required to get one talisman for the run. The rest of them, there's 6 total, but we've all we found a way to skip the sections that require them. All but this one. There's currently no known way to avoid having to use the Leap of Faith talismans. So we pick it up.
So if someone was going to pick up the N64 version, because I think you said earlier that not many runners that we know of run that version. If someone was going to go off and like pick up a version, what would you think be the better version, the black cart or the gray cart?
I would say it doesn't matter. I mean, if you were to run on the gray card, the only benefit you would get would just the few times you're fighting zombies, you wouldn't take damage, but it's very minimal. If you're playing on easy mode, your things barely scratch you. Like, I think they do 2 points of damage on easy.
Wow. That's easy mode.
So here's our talisman. I'm gonna back out here. Now there's one. Oh, I never even mentioned. So, the life force tokens. I'm gonna quick save real quick for safety. The life force tokens were a triangular shape in the first Turok, and we call them Doritos. They don't have that same shape, but we still just universally call them Doritos. And so there's the yellow and the red variant. The red gives us 10, and we call those the spicy Doritos.
That's a good.
So
yeah.
there was there was one spicy Dorito that cannot be avoided. We have to pick it up because you're locked into that motion whenever you take the leap of faith. So that's why I was
gonna say, does that mean the yellow Doritos are the Cool Ranch ones?
Precisely, yes.
Greetings, Turok. How may I assist you?
Alright, so we're gonna take ammo. I
Grunt.
think my health is kind of high for this, but that's fine. Coming up is the dreaded Bell's Hell. It is the hardest bell side in the entire run.
Beware of the blind one.
If we have time
Your mission
afterward, I could
objectives
show
are as
you.
follows.
I could come back here and show you just how difficult it is. But just take it from me. This one is... It kills runs. It has a very low success rate. The timing is very tight. We're gonna set up here. I'm gonna let this guy kill us. And I need to focus, like hyper focus right here. Nope. So after about 8 seconds, it throws us back to the main menu. So you have to get it within that time frame.
Wow.
Okay. I think my position's good. It might be my timing is off. Oh, third try.
Nice.
Third try.
Very nice job.
Okay, I'm happy with that. We'll take that.
Was that one of those moments that you were talking about beforehand, or it's like it may, like if this was like on not a marathon, that would be like a complete reset?
No, the complete resets would be if I fall into a death pit when I'm not supposed to and I can't get out. And there's one of those coming up later in the next level actually. It's not that bad though, but in the event that it does happen, yeah, I would have to use the console to fix it.
Yeah.
So, so I let that thing hit me a few times because this health cannot be avoided. We're gonna do a jumping shot to activate a switch. And there it is, underwater door open. Now, if anybody remembers the original N64 version of this level, this is probably where a lot of people got lost, gave up, and needed to refer to the strategy guide, whatever it may be. This one was the most confusing when you got to the underwater tunnels. Night Dive, another one of their quality of life improvements was to make navigating this not such a pain. But changing a bit of the layouts to make, kind of remove the unneeded, redundant, copy and pasted areas. So we're gonna walk past that key to trigger the bridge to drop, and then we come back for the key. Ignore that message that says mission complete. That is a bug. It always happens when you pick that key up. I don't know why.
I guess that makes sense that in a section like this, that would be a bug. There's a lot of bugs on screen that I see. I'm glad you understood that, actually. I was like, uh-oh. I'm talking about animals here.
Full health.
Alright, so we've got a pretty difficult jump here at this waterfall section. It looks easy, but trust me, it's not. It requires a pretty precise setup. We gotta jump in at an angle and turn. There we go, second try. Yeah, you gotta look away from it so that, because we strafe run, we end up getting a little bit further distance, and then you have to turn so that Turok will actually ledge grab. So you gotta kind of do that all in one motion.
Torpedo launcher.
And here we get the torpedo launcher to finally move faster in the water. And this is the underwater section that I was talking about earlier. But it is significantly easier now. You still gotta be careful because for some reason the Raptoids, their attack speed is really high when they're underwater. They're most dangerous when they're underwater. So I gotta dodge them. Come through here, and you can just fire a grenade and it'll hit that switch. Not every switch works like that, but that one in particular does. And we want to grab this cave key. This is an objective, but okay, let's actually grab the thing. Now with that in hand, we go back through and we take another path.
So I did see a quick question in chat, and I think it makes sense. As this game was, these type of 90s games made their passions on PC with a lot of the strafing and a lot of that you were talking about. How hard is that to be done on a controller? I assume you're doing keyboard mouse, because that seems to be the easier way for that to happen.
A controller, depending on the type of controller, it can actually be made easier. Like, let's take, for instance, the Xbox 360 controller. That one, you can pretty much lock it into a position fairly easily and make straight lines that way. So I'd say doing it on a controller in some sections would actually not be that bad.
Would it be possible? I know there's a lot of games like more modern first-person shooters or like puzzle platforms where you can do both. Do you think that's something that could be possible later on down the line?
Do both what?
So like you could for one level you could use controller, another level you could use keyboard mouse, so you get the most optimal routing.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I can't really say. I'm not sure if this game even has that kind of where it can transition that quickly. I mean, I've done all right sticking with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Full health.
It's something that maybe in the future someone can, look at or see if they can work around. Or like, if this gets on other systems like an Xbox, I know there are keyboards for that maybe be another route, so it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all we need is some new blood to try and figure that out.
And if there was someone in chat who's like, maybe I'm that new blood, we may be asking later on down here, so stay tuned as to where you may able to head on out to find more information about that.
Right, that will absolutely... near the end of the run, there'll be plenty of time to talk. Trust me, plenty of time to talk. Because the final portion of the speedrun is just literally... we hold a button to win. It's a very anticlimactic end.
Greetings, Turok. How may I assist you?
Alright, and now we're going to warp back to the village because we have the Leap of Faith talisman. We needed that for this one remaining Primogen key. So this is the only time in this category that we actually need to backtrack to another level, or previous level. And while we're here, we're also going to grab all these spicy Doritos. So it's easy as that. You just step on the pad and it automatically takes you over. And then we need to come up here for some more.
I am Turok.
And now we're going to go back to the hub. And we'll do the last remaining level before the final boss.
Greetings, Turok. How may I assist you?
Well, I know this game came out like, the mid to late, like 97, I think is when it was. Like, I just love how, like, even in that, there's just no expression. So when Turok just goes in there, it's just this deadpan, I'm here.
The Primogen's light. Your mission objectives are as follows. Scorpion missile launcher.
Well, that's Joshua's face. You should see how Seth, the main protagonist of the first game, he was just stuck in a state of pain. Alright, so as you might imagine, we're setting up for another bell slide. Then we're going to grab another life, cure zombie mode while we're at it. Because we're going to do one very soon. So there's 2 of these back to back. And this one next to Bell's Hell is probably the second hardest, I would say. Mainly due to... mainly because the timing on it is extremely tight. Oh, first try. First try.
Nice. Way to go.
Greetings, Turok. How may I assist you?
Alright, so that's the hardest bell slides out of the way. We don't need anything there. We just need it to revive us. Or put us in zombie mode, rather.
Technically, same thing.
Activate that switch. So that was the so the last level is divided into sectors, and each one has a switch that will unlock. We'll pass by it here in a second. So there in the center is the last Primogen key, and we just turn off the first sectors. So I have to visit each one. The second one... I don't know why I'm dodging those lasers. I'm invincible. Force of habit, I guess. Alright. As I mentioned earlier, switches can also be activated from behind their proximity, so I just touch that one there, and we don't have to go around for it. I'm going to go into this... over those fans to lift us up over to that next switch to unlock this door.
I'm sorry, was that a Valorant character I just saw walk past you a minute ago?
Asking the wrong person. I've never played the game.
I just saw like an ape with gold armor, and I'm like, that looks like someone I know from Valorant. But then again, I also had never played Valorant. I just watched trailers for it.
I see. That is a elite guard, and they are pretty scary because this attack right here is broken. His animation doesn't stop. He doesn't stop shooting. It sucks. All right. So scary jump over that death pit, and we got another one right here, and we can't see the path, but we follow these health pickups along the way. And drop back down, and there we go. Our pretty much most of the scary stuff is over with. I would say there's one more bell slide. Once we finish that, the run is pretty much free after that, because the final boss fight is 100% consistent. So I'd say our run is looking pretty good, and we're gonna finish well under estimate.
Full health.
Of course, I don't want to jinx myself too soon, because there are some scary rooms. Now that we have our health restored, we gotta be careful.
Grenade launcher.
Alright, Sector 3. Sector 3 has a couple scary parts, and this is why I'm going to ready up my Scorpion launcher. That laser can't hurt me from here for some reason. And that one we're just going to dodge. They have very terrible tracking. Alright, this guy. This is who we're readying up the Scorpion launcher for, in case he does his attack. There, we took out all of them. Now we've just got one life to pick up. There we go, that's all we need for the rest of the run now. Navigate through these air tunnels again. There is a spot where I'll have to do a safety save, because it can cause you to clip through and be sent back like an entire minute, and it will kill your run if you're trying to do PB attempts. Like right there, that for some reason that little tunnel I just went up, you can clip through it and go back a full minute. So I always safety save there in case that happens. because after letting it kill one of my runs once, I never allow that again. Throw that switch, go back, and we're about to pass through what I call the door of 1,000 openings, and you'll hear why.
Oh God, what?
Cerebral bore.
We have no idea why it does that.
It's quite the name though. That name makes sense.
Mario has the 1,000-year door, that Turok 2 has the door of 1,000 openings. Dodge some lasers. Shoot this guy.
Scorpion missile launcher.
See, 51, 47, that's good. Alright, last bell slide is coming up. Pick out that guy. Alright, set up here. So there it is, it won't stop shooting. But that is the last bell slide. And we're gonna pick up those 2 laser cells while also burning our face on the laser grid, just to ensure that our health is below 0. Drop those in for the blue laser cells. And then we take it over here to deposit right here, so that it'll allow us to pass. Let's see, well, you're gonna let me ledge grab? There it goes. Yeah, that one is pretty bad. Sometimes you'll just drop right off into the poison. And here's our final sector switch for the Primogen key, and we just navigate back. And that's it. The run's pretty much free from here.
Nice.
All we have to do is go back to one of the Adon portals and have her warp us back to the hub.
Primogen key found.
Just everything in this level wants to kill you. That one also likes to open a lot. Okay. So, I hope this run's been exciting for everybody, because it's all downhill from here. All right. Now I have a job for chat. I can't see chat right now, but we're going to fall into a death pit and stay there for about 2 minutes. I would like chat to keep up with how many Turok grunts there are. It's repeatedly just...
Oh, goodness.
So what's going to happen, as I said before, we build up momentum, build up velocity very quickly when we're in a death pit. And we have to save up for about 2 minutes, 10 seconds. I do have my live split running right now, so I can tell exactly when I need to do this. But essentially what's going to happen, we're going to apply all of our speed and jump through. There are 3 platforms out of bounds. One starts this cutscene, the other one starts the bad ending, and the last one starts the good ending cutscene. And so what we're going to do is jump through and touch the bad ending platform. And that'll be time. So we're going to drop off right here, and now I'm going to just watch my timer until we get 2 minutes, 10 seconds, and I'm going to hold space to win. But that's it. This is what we do. Eventually we'll become so fast that Turok will start grunting less. I think now would be a good time for shoutouts. So, yeah, thank you again, GDQ, for having me. It's my third hotfix, and this is my all-time favorite FPS game from my childhood. It's my main speed game. Special shout out to Rifampin, who was going to run this for GDQ. Shout out to the rest of the Turok community. If you would like to learn this speedrun, first of all, don't start with this category because it will break you. This is not a beginner-friendly category. It's very advanced, but there's an excellent guide by the Bell Tolls. You can learn everything from there. Also, Growth Kaze, the former record holder, he has a good guide for NMG, no major glitches. And yeah, if you would like to follow me on Twitch, where I stream FPS games and other things, speedrun, twitch.tv/chaos_wolf. And that's going to do it for me. We're just going to wait about another minute. And there he is. He's trying to taunt us. Believe it or not, this is faster than fighting the boss legitimately. If I were to go out there and actually, do the encounter, it would take me longer. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold space to win. It won't happen right away. We're essentially waiting for that moment where the game will put us back to the top of the fall and it will apply all of our velocity. And that'll be time. So,
Nice.
Pause champ and chat. Very dramatic music playing.
Love the red gradient.
Time.
Nice. GG. Good timing overall. Well, Chaos Wolf, thank you so much for showcasing Turok.
My pleasure.
That was
Now, to give everybody an idea, this game was last ran at GDQ for AGDQ 2018, and that estimate was an hour 15 minutes, and we just finished at 53. So it has changed drastically. Oh yeah, one more thing, one more recommendation. If you would like to like speedrun history videos, check out the video. It's titled "The Door That Broke Turok Speedruns." Go watch that. And it'll give a history of how we as a community just tore this game apart.
I actually really enjoy watching that, so I'm definitely I'm watching videos like that, so I will definitely check that out. Once again, thank you so much for showcasing Turok 2. And for those that are also loving the hotfix thing, we are also looking for some new hotfix shows and showrunners. Use !hotfix in Twitch chat or go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to submit your ideas. This includes bi-weekly shows, limited show runs like the Ocarina Improv and one-day events. Submissions made before June 13th will be considered for these open show slots as well. So if you have an idea, get it in. Now, guys, like I said, later on, we're going to have Bayonetta coming up here in just a moment. While we get all that set up, this is a great time to get up, stretch, hydrate, get a snack, get some popcorn, get ready for that, and get ready for and don't forget that after the bargain bin, we're going to have Octopath Traveler 1 and 2, I believe, for Tiny Tree Fort. So it's going to be a stacked show for you all. We'll be right back here in just a moment with Bayonetta. Stay tuned. Hello, and welcome back to the bargain bin here on the GDQ Hotfix. I'm still Midnight Vesper, and before we get to our next run, do not forget that Summer Games Done Quick 2023 did in fact end a couple days ago, as you can see here. If you missed any of the runs, or if you want to, review them or check out some other stuff, all that will be available on our YouTube. You can just go to, you can just head on over to our YouTube channel and check that out. While you're there, also feel free to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you're watching this particular video, and head on over here, twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And do not forget, while Summer Games Done Quick may be over at the moment. If you still like to support Doctors Without Borders, our donation page is open till the end of tonight, which is June 5th. So you can still go off and do that as well. And finally, do not forget your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel. Do so help support the Games Done Quick hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrun content. And now we continue our trend of back up Summer Games Done Quick 2023 runs with Reclaimer doing some Bayonetta. How are you doing today, Reclaimer?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Of course. I'm excited for the Bayonetta runs.
Me too.
All right, whenever you're ready.
All right, sounds good. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Time will start on go. It'll be 3, 2, 1, go. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So my name is Reclaimer. I'm playing Bayonetta. And Bayonetta is a hack and slash game. For this segment right here, it's just going to be a auto scroller. We can't do anything to speed it up or slow it down really. And I'm playing as a character Jean. So you're seeing double right now. Normally it would be a cutscene with the main character, Bayonetta. So you're going to see a few quirky things. So since this is a hack and slash, combat is comprised of punches and kicks. In this game, I get to press and hold down the attack, the punch and kick button to shoot bullets from my hands and feet. And at the end of my combos, I have what is called a Wicked Weave. Wicked Weaves are these big hands and feet that you'll see at the end of my attacks. This is going to be the primary attack method for my character, Jean. Jean is different than playing as Bayonetta. For instance, my Wicked Weaves deal 50% more damage, but as a trade-off, I take 50% more damage as well. Jean also gets infinite evades. Bayonetta can only evade 5 times, and then she'll have an exhaust dodge, which locks her out of everything for 1.5 seconds. The biggest quirk, though, in this game is Witch Time. Witch Time is a really cool mechanic where you effectively have a trump card in combat. Time slows down. You get to juggle enemies in the air really easily. Your bullets do more damage. You move faster. It's very powerful, but as Jean, I can only get Witch Time 1/10 second after evading when I take damage. Bayonetta comparatively can get Witch Time before you take damage when you evade. So I have to be a little bit more careful with how I play, but it works in our favor because some enemies want to get up in your face. If I can get Witch Time against them, I get to deal more damage with Wicked Weaves. These little human angels that you see are called affinities. You're going to see me toss them around and kick them into each other. We also have an introduction for a boss in the back, little sneak peek. His name is Fortitudo. You'll see him right there. A really interesting angel. One of my favorite angel designs that kind of got me into this game.
Their victory.
Almost done with this section here. Gonna go ahead and jump over that.
The witch's dark abilities, humans began to condemn the main umbra. They launched the witch hunt,
Dodges fireballs.
rounding up the battle-weary witches with little resistance and subjugating those who wished to continue the struggle.
Look at that
Human
face.
faith in the miracles of their god pushed the witch hunt.
I will say, I always enjoy the designs that these, all the angels, all the aesthetics and art of this particular series.
I think Bayonetta is one of the more impressive series with the budget that they had. You'll see Bayonetta in this cutscene here as well, which is kind of funny. They had no business being this thoughtful and ahead of their time with a lot of the enemy designs. Even now, I'm learning more and more things. Alright, we're going to move into the vestibule, which is a graveyard. Right now, I do not have the ability to use Wicked Weaves, so I'll come up to the affinity, use a ragdoll, knock them into each other. I can also knock them into rain like that, which does damage. Let him spawn, ragdoll. Play a little bit of bowling with those over there. Let me snatch this one out of the air. The faster you mash, the faster you do the ragdolls. Gonna come over here, introduction for the angel decoration. Lock on, aim at the ground, AI manipulation. They'll fly into my field of vision. Grab this one, play a little bit more bowling. I'm gonna kill the decorations as they spawn in. Freeze up the spawn pool for these affinities here. He's gonna be a problem. That's okay. Knock him into the wall. Alright. Below my health bar, we have this purple little orb meter. That is my magic meter. Health bar bottom right. Torture attack this Claude. He's dead. Magic meter is very, very powerful. That is going to be the most precious resource for me in this game. He's going to hit me. It's okay. Go ahead and toss him on the ground. Alright. We're going to move into the next verse. It's basically a hard tutorial. We're going to have to get 3 torture attacks off to proceed. You're going to see me press and hold the punch and kick button to shoot a bunch of bullets, and that gives me a ton of magic.
So I noticed that there was like very, very little load screen in that when you went there. Does that impact? I mean, I understand an RTA that would impact it, but if someone was running it on PC, for example, is there like a way to get rid of that so that someone who may not have a completely massive computer can still have a decent time?
So the great thing about this game, it loads incredibly fast, but we also have a load time remover that we use for the run, which makes it even more accessible.
Such a disappointment.
Ironically, we do run into some issues. I'm currently using an older GPU right now because some things load too fast, where they just don't load at all. So thankfully, we do have the auto splitter, we have load time removers, so everything is as accessible as possible. And we also hard lock the game to 60 FPS. The game actually speeds up if you have it on for a while.
What do you mean by speed up? Like, does it give you more frames?
Yeah, the game speeds up to... Everything is locked to 60 FPS as far as the animations. The game can speed up to 63. The game is 5% faster. Everything is faster, which... That was a nightmare to figure out how and why that works. Gonna pick up the angel weapon with the animation cancel. Also, I'll showcase a mechanic called dodge offset. Punch, I'm evading. Kick, punch. Using dodge offset. What was that?
I say kick and punch, but I said it's all in the mind. I'll Parappa the Rapper.
Using dodge offset, I'm actually able to continue my attacks while evading, which is one of the most amazing things that they've made in Bayonetta. And just right there, I skipped an entire fight. I went over the water instead of repairing the statue and fighting 3 affinities, getting witch time and then walking across the water. I can just skip over that. And we're going to come up on our first shop trip here. The way you enter is the way you exit. I'm going to be buying a consumable that gives me double damage for 15 seconds. And I'm going to be buying the technique air dodge. That's going to open up a lot more mobility for me now. Whenever you see me spray bullets like this indicates that I am pressing or holding an attack button, like punch or kick. Ragdoll this first one is going to drop me an angel weapon. Animation cancel that. Massive amounts of damage. I'm going to make sure that this one is over here when I kill him. Yep. Kill that one decoration that frees up the spawn pool. Torture attack him. I want his flail. Torture attacking now drops their angel weapon. I'm gonna go into the air. You spin punch to spray a bunch of bullets like this. I'm able to clear out these enemies really quickly. I want this trumpet. Ooh, that was a stacked spawn. Pick that up. Jump cancel, jump cancel. Pick up the flail. Alright, beloved introduction. Hello there, good friend. Weak spot on the back, get witch time, and he's dead.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're witch, by the way. We summon our good friend Gamora. He's really hungry. I'm going to pick up this angel weapon as well and carry that to the end of the chapter. Here's a record. We're going to trade into the shop for shotguns.
So how hard is it to like learn that movement down? I know from a lot of games that have this plethora, from like this and Devil May Cry, Hi-Fi Rush, they have the all unique way of having maneuverability to constantly move as fast as you can. How hard is that to learn, or is it even hard?
Can you ask me that in about
I'm
12
sorry.
minutes? Oh no, you'll see. You'll have more questions. I'm gonna do punch, punch, pause, kick against this beloved here. Spray a bunch of bullets. Deplete his health bar before he even grabs the bridge. Pick up my axe. The game doesn't even know he's dead yet. It checks after he does this one slam against the wall. Now it knows he's dead. This game is from 2010. Quick time event. A lot of those are insta-death as well. Using the axe here. You can drop it on his head. Health bar in the bottom right. Alright. So you see that we're on the top of the platform here. The devs never expected you to be able to kill him anywhere else. You know how this goes. We summon Gamora. Gonna mash for this quick time event. Say goodbye.
Okay, because I know in another fight you didn't button mash there, and this one you did. Is there a significant difference in the points, skills, abilities?
The other one is actually slower if you mash. This one is... it doesn't matter.
Okay.
And then in between every single chapter, we have a section that is called Angel Attack. I'm going to be going through Angel Attack one time in the run at the end of Chapter 5. All the other times we'll skip it. It doesn't have any value for us. In Chapter 2, we are going to see a familiar face once again. So there's a setup here that is precise to a quarter of a second. If you miss it, you do not get that infinite chain. So really,
Wow.
that fight went well. We're a witch, by the way. The moon's out, so we get to walk on walls. And the
As you
moon's
do
gone.
when the moon's out. I mean, as you do when the moon's out, you get to
very
walk on
normal
walls.
behavior.
Yeah.
Grab that witch statue, break this wall. We need to go through the witch time, and puzzle solved. We're going to evade diagonal, torture attack is flail affinity, camera manipulation. That causes those two to cluster against the wall, instantly kills them. We punch him against the wall, spin kick. Let me go ahead and snatch him. Reposition him. Pick up that bow. I'm going to kill all but the bow, applaud. Go ahead and hit him. There we go, torture attack. Tap taunt. He's gonna go orange. Gonna get witch time here. Activate double damage and look at the combo in the right. So I completely killed him in basically 2 hits. I get a ton of combo out of this here. Let me come over here. Pick him against the wall. Okay, that was 1.2 million combo. If you want to know the conversion, you just take off a decimal point.
What?
Alright, we have an introduction for the enchant. Spin kick, throw them into each other, goodbye. Grab on the wall, saves our position in between load. Break the cart. Lock on, stare at the ground with the bow. We kill the 5 enchants in the arena. Drop the bow, punch, punch, pause, kick, punch, punch, pause, kick. And that is perfect threshold for the setup for this next phase. Our beloved is not happy. He's going to call in reinforcements. Double-edged sword, though. Quite literally. Friendly fire is enabled. His buddy killed him. Tap taunt. He gets enraged. He goes orange. We get witch time. Use an angel weapon. Ton of damage, and this is going to result in a lot of combo as well. This is the same as the first time we summoned Gamora. It's faster if you do not mash. So we almost have a 250,000 halos already, just between basically 2 fights. We get this record piece for the weapon Shiraba. That is a sword. We are going to be using that a lot. Grab him out of the air. Let's see if I get the setup here. Nah, he went to the right. That's okay. Take care of him. Grab the angel weapon. Instead of doing a 180, grabbing a statue, building the bridge, and going across it, we can just jump over it. No biggie.
Never knew that.
Oh, yeah. Fortitudo is not happy. He's harassing us yet again. Using the angel weapon, we deal a massive amount of damage. Gets to the next phase. We've done so much damage, we have to wait until now to deal more damage. Spray a bunch of bullets. Here's another insta-death quick time event. And we just throw it back at the fireballs. And this is another example. If you press evade while the medals load, they all load in at the same time. That makes you in the section faster. The game will load then of the chapter faster as well, if you do that. So I spent around 2 or 3 seconds for safety, and I get 1.7 million combo out of that chapter, which that is all the safety strats I need for money in the whole run, which is really nice. We're going to be opening up into our first shop trip here of the run. And I'll make sure I don't mash too fast. Shotguns, sword. We're going to buy consumables. Double damage for 15 seconds. The large one is 60 seconds. The yellow ones give us invulnerability. 15 and 60 respectively. I buy 2 magic upgrades. 2 moon pearls. Technique stiletto. Tetsu Zonko. And afterburner kick. Accident. Okay. The menu management right here is input buffered. Okay. Activated a large red, so my attack is double damage. So only a half charge of Shiraba can dispatch of these angles. He's going to be a problem. That is a Tetsu Zonko. That is an insta-weave for 3 magic. Break these benches. So you know how you were asking about movement?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to see me fly through the air. No exaggeration. We have an introduction for the enemy, Fairness. Say goodbye. You're going to see me using Tetsu Zonko, which is this instant Wicked Weave, and I'm going to be evade canceling it.
You can just fly through that section like that? I don't know how many times that lava got me the first time I played this game.
You have seen nothing yet.
Oh, goodness.
Very specific frame timing there. Grab on the wall. Miss lava. Okay. Quick time event. So after this fight, we're going to have like a big showcase of the movement in a very clear area where you can really see what's going on here. Open this up. Tetsuzanko, jump, evade. Punch, punch, kick, punch. Uppercut, punch, kick, punch. Climb that up. Tetsuzanko, I kill or I hit that fairness out of his teleport. He teleports because we broke line of sight with the pillar in the center. I'll use the Tetsu to finish him off as I weapon swap. That was a very good fight. Okay. So we'll have this quick time event here. I'll go into like a small corridor. After the small corridor, I'll open it into this giant lava lake. Normally, you would have to do 2 separate fights. You go into a portal, you get an hourglass that reverses time, you walk across a bridge, the bridge falls. Good 2.5 minutes of all that. Instead, I'm literally just going to fly into the end of the cavern and just leave. I don't have time for that. I'm going to be using the technique which is Afterburner Kick. And then at the end of the Afterburner Kick, I'm going to maintain my momentum with Stiletto. But I evade out of the Stiletto animation, which makes me fly. Because I'm just preserving momentum. I fall once for speed. Mind you, this is rhythmic. If you mess it up for like a quarter of a second, you lose all your momentum, and you're just sitting duck in the air. This can be done up side objects, like that one barely hit me. You can do this on the side of objects, anything. I'm going to be doing this for the whole run now. Grab onto that. What was that question you had about movement? Do you remember?
How hard would it to learn? Or how precise?
Boy. I actually used to use the Tetsuzanko, which is about 4 times harder than Stiletto because you have to do a backwards forward punch input every single time. That took me about 8 months to get down pretty well. But I realized you can do it. Yes, I'm not kidding. It is like down to like 5 frames at most for leniency. And you have to continuously do it perfectly on rhythm every single time. This new movement that I found out back in January is a lot easier. Using Stiletto is a lot more convenient. Launch the fireball back, does good damage. I get to the hinge of the jaw. With shotguns on feet, button mash deal a ton of damage. Picks up his head. Now Fortitudo is going to get on the edge of the Colosseum. I'm going to get some magic here. Also, let me showcase something really cool. Here's the default uppercut. Here's the jump cancel. You can speed up the animation significantly by jumping in between every input. And as you descend on the ground, you can jump again and just repeat that. We throw him into the center of the arena. Quick time event. If you want to know how many times I am pressing the button, divide that number going up by 5.
Wow.
I'm going to be doing Tetsuzanko jump cancels. 1, 2, perfect. Aim at the seam here. Get witch time. Go for the hinge of the jaw. Spray a bunch of bullets. Do 1 Tetsu. Grab him as he drops. Picks his head back up immediately. I'll do more of a showcase with the jump uppercut cancels now. Wait till he gets on this side. It's a lot of damage really quickly. Also, I'm activating a small yellow lollipop here. Normally you'd have to wait like 10 seconds. He'd breathe fire on the ground, you get witch time, you parkour into platforms. If you just activate invulnerability, you can get to the head and just immediately hit the button prompt and just chuck him on the ground like this. A solid 20-second time save for the entire fight. Moving on to the last phase. We're stuck in like witch time. You can't actually get it against the boss normally. Bunch of bullets on the weak spot. Very favorable RNG here. There's the health bar. That's about it.
That was a real. I didn't even see the health bar go down. I just blinked and it was gone.
The shotguns on feet shoot more bullets than if you have them on your hands. Having the weak spot there and just button mashing really fast just annihilates health bars. You can normally deal more damage if you're in witch time. So it can be even more than that. We summon our good demon friend Malphus here. One of my favorite demon friends. And we finish 42 off.
So I always have to wonder the type of guns that are being used. How does the ammo constantly work? I guess the other question, how do you actually fire the guns on the on the feet?
Canonically, it's magic. She uses magic for the bullets.
I don't have a clever response to that actually.
She's a witch. She can do that.
Yeah.
Alright, so chapter 5 is kind of crazy. We have 7 new enemy introductions here. Frame perfect setup, got it. That's okay. Introduction for Grace and Glory. Getting witch time and spin kicking, I get to just annihilate their health bar by knocking them into each other. Very specific setup there. Alright. Here we have Fearless and Fairness. I'm going to try to cluster them as much as possible. If I get on the side of them, I get to hit them with the Wicked Weave twice. And as you know, I'm playing as Jean, 50% more damage Wicked Weaves. You get to just annihilate enemies if you position correctly. During that transition, we get our jumps reset, and we get to stay in the air. We go over to this time manipulator and just decide that it's nighttime now. And you know what happens when the moon is out. We get to walk on stuff. I'm John, I can evade infinitely, which means I get to hit terminal velocity as I fall down here.
Terminal what?
Terminal velocity.
I've actually never heard of that phrase before.
Just play on words. Jean.
Oh,
Velocity.
Okay. I thought you said Jill.
No,
Like, what?
We have a new angel. It's called Harmony. Stare off the edge. This manipulates their spawn position. That one spawned in late. That's okay. Knock him to the wall with shotgun's threshold. Pick up the claws. Pick up the second record piece. And the movement you see me doing is the stiletto movement with the sword. Okay, that was a pressure plate. We hit that. Both of those triggers. Introduction for the Ardor. Grace Claws with the red lollipop completely evaporates them. Stall my position. I'll wait for them to despawn. Okay. Very specific setup here. 2 evades. 2 more evades. Ooh. Okay. Kind of got stuck on terrain there as I fell up, which is fine. Normally I'd be able to fly all the way up to the top of the tower and hit the trigger in a matter of seconds. Break the base for the bullet. Another Grace and Glory fight. I need to get him a little bit away from the wall. If I'm not careful, the claws can fall into the wall. I'll grab them as they spawn here for safety. Uppercut. Do a trip. Another trip into your youth.
So I have to ask, because like the movement is just otherworldly. And someone pointed out the question: how are your hands holding up? Because I see you're also using a controller. I would assume. So how do your hands work? Make sure that you're constantly fresh with this.
I have been playing the game like this for 800 in-game hours.
800?
Yes, I'm about 1,000 hours deep now.
Wow.
So, easily. Small introduction for the inspired Grace Claws Red Lollipop, and he's gone. That actually skips a quick time event with Malphus. If you take too long, it takes an entire minute. So that is a good 57-second time save. We go to the shop, we transfer the record piece into the Durga Claws. We'll put those on our feet in a second. Do the movement, locking onto the inspired, and we fly all the way to the end very quickly. As far as that question goes, I have developed muscles in my hands from playing this game and other games in very particular ways. Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna void out here. Let me redo that. I actually got barely inside of the platform as it was flying towards me. I use a very specific technique when I hold my controller, where I have my index finger on my punch and kick button, and then my middle finger on the trigger.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
So my hand is always curled. My index finger, that is.
That's probably actually safer too when you think about it, because that way you're like all the muscles kind of in your hand are all kind of being used in some weird in the same way. So it's probably healthier for your hand to do that too.
Yeah. That also makes it easier to do spin inputs. If I need to do a spin punch or spin kick, my finger is already there. Otherwise, I would have to rearrange my entire hand. We do that fight with Jean there. I skipped the cutscene, but I can now shapeshift. I can turn into a panther, which is really cool. And that unlocks yet another facet of movement. So here is the one and only time we will be doing Angel Attack. I'm going to be using the center crosshair and the bottom line to line up the heads. The heads are the red part on the affinities. I'm going to be going for 120 points here. All the spawns are RNG as well. I got a very good pattern here. 10 more. Okay, that was great. Using the points I get from this, I get to buy 4 magic flutes. If you've played Devil May Cry or any game that has a consumable item, like in the hack and slash genre, this is a consumable that deals a large amount of damage in a pretty big area around you. We're going to do our second shop trip of the run here. We can turn into a crow. Consumable restock. A little bit of safety with those consumables. They will give me magic. So now I can turn...
Go ahead.
Now I can turn into a crow, and I can dash to enemies in a crow. Also, as I jump out of the panther form, I can fling myself across the air. So, That paired with the other ways of movement, you're going to see some crazy stuff.
I just feel like knowing how Bayonetta and John are as characters. It's just saying that when you turn into a crow, they never quote Shakespeare. Or
It's
make
a
some sort
shame.
of reference to Shakespeare.
Here's a skip here. I need to reset that one a little too low. Little off to the side. There we go. That skips a fight with 2 Inspireds, and you have to summon Malphus. Saves a good minute to skip that. So right now, I am turning into Panther form, jumping out of it, and that also gives me a ton of momentum. Now I don't have to use the Afterburner kick to generate momentum, now I can do it out of Panther form. So that gives me more horizontal mobility. And if I'm on a staircase, I get to turn into Panther form while I land on the ground.
I just want to make this chat pointed this out for me. I meant to say Edgar Allan Poe, not Shakespeare in that reference earlier. Sorry.
I figured it was Nevermore.
Yeah.
I get these claws while I go out of Panther form, fly into the air, get a very good lineup on both of them, pick them out. So you're going to see me just fly across like that. I'm just evading out of Panther. And to turn to the Panther form, I have to press the evade button twice, so if I'm on a slope, I can immediately turn back into Panther right after doing that movement. Underneath my health bar, we have a little child indicator with the meter. We now have someone we have to be a guardian for. Her name is Cereza. She's in that little protective barrier dome in the center of the arena. All the enemies cooperate though, so we don't have to worry about them attacking her. Very nice for us. And we're an awful guardian, so hello little Cereza. I'm gonna do punch, kick, punch, Panther, while I stare at her, break the gate, hit this trigger. And because she was so far away from me, I broke the tether that normally keeps you stuck on top of her. I can just leave. I don't need to be here. I don't have time for that. That saves 40 seconds.
Someone in chat earlier said you're faster than the camera, and I totally see it now.
Yeah, the camera isn't designed to be able to keep up with you tracking. Even like right here, I'm not really on camera. If I go into this trigger, the Fearless and Fairness die the fireballs. I use Tetsuzanko on the core. It's hit once and it's about to hit twice as this transition happens. Right there. Tetsuzanko again, and that's its HP.
Wow.
And the cool thing about using Tetsuzanko, I gain magic as I deal damage. So I do get some of my resources back. Button mashing. You know how this ends.
Aww. Broken heart.
So you'll notice that's a halo. And now we still have to chase her down. Ooh,
Wait, that was
RNG.
John looking out for John. What's going on? I feel like this is Johnception.
It gets a little crazy. Uppercut. And this is a joy. They can shapeshift. Head stomp, then knock her back on the ground. Goodbye. Alright. Let's get the heaven out of there. Let's go back to the normal world. Any questions in chat? Any burning questions?
I just see a lot of emotes of just like, you know, in comments like fast in the camera.
This run is... There's not really any downtime.
Sorry, I got into a coughing fit because of allergies. Someone
no,
else
you're
said
okay.
turbo button. Yeah, no. This is it's a great run. I just can't. It's so hard for me to multitask because I'm watching the run, and if I feel like I move away for 1 second, then I've missed something.
Yeah, it works like that.
Oh, a great question just came up in chat. This is dope.
Great question.
Yes.
So here we have the boss, Temperance. We get through the first phase, jump on the arm, do a lock-on. Tetsuzanko, I'll do a lock-on punch-kick-punch, and break that from a safe distance, away from the enemies. We summon our friend Hekatonkshu. Every single individual finger is a demon head. Very powerful. Say goodbye to that one. And I'm doing an attack called the Kilgore exploit. I am doing combo, and I switch to the shotguns on the feet. Does a massive amounts of damage. Every single flurry kick shoots just a bunch of shotgun shells. The Tetsuzanko and the punch kick punch. Hit the climax trigger.
Oh, here's an actual question that came up in chat. Like, for those that may have missed the beginning of this run and missed the explanation, how are you doing so much damage?
So the cool thing is I'm doing a lot of animation cancels very quickly, but I'm playing as Jean. Jean has the cool feature of dealing 50% more damage with the hands and feet, the wicked weaves, and the sword slashes that you see on screen, the purple things. So this speeds up the run pretty significantly, and I have like all the attacks set out. I know the HP thresholds that I have to do, so I'm doing as much as I can to hit those thresholds as quick as possible, as well as jumping in between the end of animations and the beginning of them, just to speed things up. Here's another showcase of the Kilgore exploit. Look at that health bar.
Bye.
Land on the ground to hit the climax immediately. Because with Shiraba, we can do an autonomous weave by uppercutting and immediately canceling out the animation with a jump or an evade. Boom.
Oh, that had to hurt.
That was a very good Temperance fight. I got the most favorable RNG possible.
Such a disappointment.
Okay. So the next chapter is my favorite chapter of the run.
So, okay, when you play as Bayonetta, you get the trophies as Bayonetta. And it looks like when you play as Jean, you get the trophies as Jean as well, or is it just still the same Bayonetta trophy?
It's a different looking trophy. It has Jean's model on it. There's a third playable character who has his own trophies too. Diagonal evade, knock him into the road. I'm gonna have to knock him against the wall there too. Maintain my combo through that jump. Have to wait for the R door to despawn. We're just waiting. Get some nice wings on that screenshot. I come to the side of the arena. I manipulate their spawn position because I'm flying so far. They're trying to calculate my endpoint, but it's against the wall. The worst thing about Joys is they can read your inputs, so unfortunately they will periodically just evade all of your attacks if you're pressing too many buttons too quickly. I wish there was a better strategy versus them, but we don't have that. Introduction to the enemy Irenic. You never see them in the run, besides that in-game cutscene. Because it's time to go room. Open the menu, Magic Flute, Panther 180. If you've ever seen a speedrun of Mario Kart, We go across the finish line, conveniently placed behind us. That skips a good 5.5-minute section of riding on the bike and dodging and shooting angels. Done.
Wow. I also love the names of some of the angels. Well, I know some of them, I don't know if all of them, I know some of them are actual accurate. But I can't remember if all the angels in there are all actual angel names.
They have their own hierarchy of Laguna. You can check the wiki for more information on that.
Oh,
And the last
really?
angel that was introduced is the Braves. If you leave 3 of them alive long enough, they'll strike a Ginyu Force pose from Dragon Ball Z and fuse into a very big beloved. But we don't give them that
That's great.
opportunity.
Oh. Just more things you may have to see on Reclaimer's Twitch chat. Or Twitch channel, not Twitch chat.
I have a comprehensive VOD channel where it's just called Reclaimer VODs, where I just have a bunch of clips and stuff that I don't really have time to like edit or anything like that, that I just dump as soon as I find them. There's so many things that you could sift through if you're bored. So we're in Paradiso. I skipped the cutscene so you couldn't see it. We get 1 of 3 record pieces. This will be the last weapon that we pick up in the run. And we skip a fight here by doing this movement. We get on top of the orb. And I want this key. Key in the keyhole. That gives us a spiral platform. We don't care. Reverse gravity. And I'll go down this segment. If you've ever seen Indiana Jones, this is a perfect recreation of what happens in the movies. We jump into the air. We go over the invisible wall. We turn into a crow. And then we just evade the boulder that chases after us.
Yeah, I remember that. It's frame for frame for the movie.
Oh yeah. And then you get to despawn and watch them fall into the abyss.
Just like in the movie.
Yeah. 1-to-1 recreation.
I was in the infamous Indiana Jones despawn. I mean, everyone knows about that.
They should have checked the invisible walls in the temple, I think.
Yeah.
They could have just gotten to the exit. Panther offset. Punch, kick, punch, button panther form. Punch evade, kick evade, punch evade, but I hit evade twice. That's unlucky RNG. We get witch time. How to evade that. Nice. Tetsuzanko cancel with Shiraba. Alright. Keys are for chumps. We get good height here. Grab the wall. Barely make it across. We have an enemy so bad, Lady Gaga tweeted about it 3 times in frustration. Kinship. Have to dodge those hooks. That's gonna hit me and void me out. Can't do anything about that. That's fine.
I actually didn't know that information, actually.
Yeah. Infamous enemy. There's a section where you can fight 3 of them.
Oh,
Optional
goodness.
fight. But most people don't know that. If we do spin kick with Durga on feet, we can just phase through that. Get a line up here. Barely missed it. That's what I was afraid of. That's okay. I'm gonna do this for safety. When you get close enough, because I'm going so fast, the camera can't keep up. As the camera catches up, it loads the platform in a completely different spot. So, barely missed out on that, and it just blinked away from me. Now we're good. It's stationary. This is the Panther evades as I jump up the staircase. I'm gonna break the statue as I jump. Torture attack as it spawns. I don't need that flail. Is the last record piece. I don't need that.
The movement in this is something else. And I know I've said it already, but I will just reiterate how... Wow, this movement. It's so precise.
If I press the evade button too fast, you'll see me turn to the crow form. So everything is rhythmic. That's why I have one earbud in. I need to hear my controller. I use a small red, and we have the boss golem. Punch, punch, kick, punch. Deplete the health bar. We're gonna deplete the health bar for the 3rd time. It's faster than the climax. Goodbye.
Someone in chat asked the question, I didn't know if they were memeing until you just said about the rhythm. Like, do you think training and learning about music and rhythm is helping you towards the run, or is it just kind of a muscle memory type situation? Assuming you play an instrument, if not, or know anything about music.
I used to play piano, and I was in the percussion in band in school. It helps to a certain degree. Most of this is just muscle memory and hundreds, literally, hundreds and hundreds of hours of just hearing the inputs. I use a very specific brand of controller just so I have the sound. Be it a certain noise.
Oh, wow.
I use the very cheap $20 Power A controllers because they're the clackiest and loudest.
That's actually a very interesting thing to say. For something like this, you'd think you'd want something that's like a little bit more accuracy, but you're going for the sound effect.
I've tried using the normal Xbox Microsoft license controller. It's okay. It's just quiet. and the triggers are very bouncy in a way that I don't like. The noise comes from me hitting the bottom of the... What's it called? Of the, like, actual trigger housing. So it's like audio-visual element. I can jump off this early and it'll still go. I'm looking for Jean's feet to, like, hit the bottom of the animation. Kind of weird way to describe it. As she does her flip and her feet land, like, upright, that's the visual cue. And I'm waiting to hear the trigger release as well. So, combination. I can do it muted, but it's harder. We have small variations of Fortitudo and Temperance. They're pretty easy to kill mini-bosses. Then we do this trigger here, charge Sharaba. You can charge Sharaba, go into Panther, and still hold onto the punch button, like I'm doing right now. Break that. Spin kick for magic. Here is the triple kinship fight. Optional. We don't like them. But if I miss time or press the evade too fast, you'll see me lose all my momentum with the movement that I'm doing. And this is stuff that I've theory crafted for at least 800 hours of gameplay. And it's taken me up until hour 700 total to, like, master the movement to the degree that I have. And even now, there's still room for improvement.
Wow. So I guess that kind of does go into the question that you may have just kind of answered it, but, like, when it comes to the routing it, and like, learning the pattern, learning the rhythm and aspect of that, now you just said you spent, like, 800 or so hours learning all of that. Was it just kind of learning as you go? Were you using some sort of, like, assisted type situation to help learn the best route for this?
The world record with load time removed used to be an... Right now, it's 138 on the leaderboard. It was like 137. I've gotten it down to 132, and the run can go down to 130 if the movement's perfected and there's good RNG. I just got a PB like 3 weeks ago.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Belated congrats.
And the new movement that I've discovered with using stiletto evade cancels was like January. I'm still getting better at it. So, who's to say how good it can be? Maybe there's an element that I don't even know yet, which is possible. The more I've played this game, the more I've learned. So I get a torture attack on that flail angel because I will need it for the boss fight. I'd stomp him to reset his AI, otherwise he'll parry me. This is the only fight that you can bring an angel weapon into a boss fight. Okay. That also is rhythmic as well. The jump uppercut cancels down to like a few frames. Turn the panther form, jump into the air. We can either turn to crow form or do a Shiraba stall in the air like that, and we jump down the entire boss. That saves 10 seconds.
Wow. For a run like this, time shades are incredible.
I just learned how to do that with the sword instead of crow form, so I can route a crowless run a week and a half ago. We activate a small red, we do 4 uppercuts, hit the flail, goodbye health bar, we get to the next phase. Otherwise, the boss would do a scripted platform slam and make you parkour for a little while. Still. There we go. That one wasn't as clean, but still very, very good. I think the timing on that is like 1/3 of a second at most, which isn't too bad compared to some of the other stuff. And as I fall off the edge, I'm doing spin kicks to move down faster, activate a small red now. 4 uppercuts. Trying to generate some magic here. And for the quick time events, I'm pressing the E key and the X button on my controller.
Oh, so you're using keyboard and mouse, or keyboard and controller.
Yes. The only issue is if I'm pressing them at the same frame, it eats the input. So only one of them will count.
Oh, interesting.
Most of my
It's also
mash is
really-
like 70% of it is the controller. I'm not nearly as good as mashing with my my left hand for the keyboard.
No, I was gonna say it's really interesting how quick, if that was the case, how quick the game realizes you're going from keyboard to controller, because it looks like very frame precise.
Yeah, it can read the input every other frame. As
Yeah.
long as it's not the same frame, it can read it. That's why you see me put my controller on my armrest here, just to make it easier where it's stabilized. We summon our good friend Skull of Pindra to take out Justice, and we move on to the next chapter. The time that it used to take to fight Justice used to be 4 minutes and 10 seconds. After using the flail to skip the phases and saving 30 seconds for each tongue, 10 seconds each tongue, 30 seconds total. The boss fight is completely different now, so I'm very happy about it. Most of the discoveries, though, have been very, very small incremental discoveries that just lead to more and more discoveries as we go on. Because as I learn a mechanic, it takes a while to figure out what I can even do. Spin kick as I parkour. And get the trip here as he spawns in. You are. And he parried me. He's gonna slash me. That's okay. Shooting against the air, Tetsuzanko. Grab that.
Very good evade into Witch Time, too.
Okay. So we're gonna go out of bounds here.
After all this going on, and now we're gonna introduce we're gonna introduce an out of bounds split.
This is the only place in the run that we actually do out of bounds, except for like chapter 3 if you count that. We activate the fight trigger right there. Seeing double. We AI manipulate her by shooting her in the back. We go over here to break the verse. Look at her health bar bottom right. Boom, she's dead. She hit the death plane. She's gone. This is phase 2. And the fight is over.
Wait! Wait!
We get little Cereza, take her to safety. Drop these bombs here preemptively. Try to put this bomb in the center. That's fine. He's a little far out. That's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and safety, get some more magic here. So using our last and final magic flute, I'm gonna drop her here. Panther evade, magic flute. That kills all the harmonies. If you don't kill them fast enough, they'll teleport around and lose a lot of time. And I stiletto to get to the end. Pretty decent chapter 12, all in all. So, the next boss fight is going to be against Bayonetta, Prudence. This is the hardest strategy in the whole run. Can easily mess it up, but you can save up to 40 seconds or more. You have to go at a very sharp angle here. Okay, he cooperated. I got the hit on that one. I used a... break two knees. We get witch time. Come over here. Punch, kick, punch. Jump evade. Tetsuzanko. And we break all four knees in one single cycle. Normally, you would have to break two knees. Bayonetta would do a scripted dive that takes 30 seconds total. Comes back up. Then you go on the other side and break the other two knees. If you do that very specific setup and timing, you can do as either Bayonetta Jean. It's not character specific. You can break all four knees in one cycle, in which time, completely changing the way this fight plays out. We summon Phantasmarene, and all we're doing is just cattle herding him into our good friend. He's also pretty hungry. Okay, we have some RNG here. We'll see what happens. Unfavorable. I'll enrage him to speed up his animations. This is a scripted dive animation. I'm gonna see if I can hit him on the way down. Punch, kick, punch. Okay, we got some damage. I'm gonna try to use some hit stun frames here. Use another. He's probably gonna dive. Barely.
I honestly forgot this boss existed.
He's a tough one.
That's probably why I forgot this boss existed.
Alright, so check this out. Ah, he's 1 HP. There's threshold. I got an unlucky RNG. Him doing the bite attack so frequently makes it where I can't deal damage to him back. I'm waiting for the attack to finish. You can do this fight with only the one single scripted dive that he'll do at the beginning of the second phase. That's okay. We'll skip this cutscene here. Got a little water tunnel going on. And what we're going to aim for is that core that you see right in front of us. I'm going to do punch with Shiraba. I'm going to tilt the joystick forward. I'm not pressing lock on. Activate a small yellow lollipop. If I get witch time or press a lock on button, I am not able to deal damage. Like that. We deplete the health bar from that far away. Normally you'd have to get close to him and then start dealing damage, but if you do everything perfectly, you get to deal damage from range. Phantasmarene is a wonderful parent. You gotta feed your children.
Someone looks like they're not having a good time. Oh! That's probably where it works better if I forgot there was I'm on a little bit of a delay watching this.
No, you're okay.
Such a disappointment.
Okay. We're going to be moving into the least favorite section in the entire game. Isla del Sol, Island of the Sun. We're going to be doing our last shop trip of the run here. We get our rocket launchers on our feet. Red Hotshot gives us a free life if we die for any reason. And we get the accessory Celine's Light. If you take any damage at the cost of 4 magic, you will get Witch Time. So, this is Isla del Sol. If you've ever played Space Harrier, which is an old Sega arcade IP, it is a gigantic homage to that. Every time I press the X or Y button on the controller, I just shoot bullets. If I hit A and B, I will be shooting weave missiles.
I do
This
like
is-
Bayonetta 4. Go ahead.
What was that?
I was going to say, like, with this and everything else, I do like how Bayonetta does give a lot of homage to a lot of other games and a lot of other stories and plots, on top of just the overall campiness and other
I like
side
the-
of Bayonetta.
I like the gameplay breakups with Route 666, even though we skipped it, and Isla del Sol. I just don't like it in the context of a speedrun.
Right,
wanna
yeah,
play
I get that.
Bayonetta. Casually love this section, and this has the best soundtrack, hands down.
I do enjoy that, like, every Bayonetta has that one song, which is always... I don't remember if they broke it off in 3, or what they did anything with the one that was on the Switch, the newer one.
Bayonetta
But they
3.
always did a parody of, or not a parody, a remake of a Frank Sinatra song, I believe is what it was.
Yeah. I'm gonna just button mash this. Kill him really quickly. That's kind of been Bayonetta's, like, motif, I guess, as far as design.
Yeah.
The final song at the end is DMCA. Because it is Fly Me to the Moon. The non-remixed version.
Oh, okay.
We have 6 minutes of this, so... And keep
Yeah.
in mind, after all the mashing I've already done in the run, this is just nail in the coffin.
If I do have a second...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go
okay,
for it.
someone said they're just
Please.
moon-themed songs, not just Sinatra. Okay, sorry. I do want everyone to know that during this time, Juneteenth, our annual event celebrating Black Independence, is coming up June 17th and 18th at 1 p.m. Eastern. Join us as we highlight the amazing talents of the Black speedrunning community. And of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, head on over to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. Speaking of Twitch stuff as well, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and the bits shared on the GDQ Twitch channel help support the Games Done Quick hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speed running content. And of course, do not forget we have some amazing stuff coming over here with Tiny Treefort at the top of the hour, and they're going to be showcasing not one but 2 Octopath Traveler games. So it's going to be great stuff coming up as the night progresses.
Full attention to detail. If you look at the little 4 thrusters in the back, I move in the opposite direction of the ones you see activated. And for some reason, you can actually tilt the rocket using the right joystick. I don't know why. But it's a thing. You can't do that on the console version. Couldn't give you an explanation why.
Okay, so we do have a question. Outside of the damage, is there any massive difference between playing as Jean or playing as Bayonetta?
Yes and no. If you want to play optimally for the speedrun, which you don't have to, since Jean is, on paper, better at getting Wicked Weave damage off, you have to play more so in favor of getting lineups for, like, the Shiraba to hit twice. I would say Jean takes... Oh boy. Ironically, when I started the speedrun, when I was learning the routing, I tried to play as Bayonetta, but I was like, I give up. I'd rather play as Jean, because she starts with Moth Within. Moth Within is how she gets her Witch Time. When she takes damage is when you hit the evade button. I had already played her for like 80 hours at that point, after learning a lot as Bayonetta, like 120 hours as her. I started playing as Jean, and I got pure platinum on both characters, and at that point I was like, okay, I'll start the speedrun. But my muscle memory was already just built in as Jean, so I could not make the switch over, not having Moth Within for 5 chapters. I couldn't do it. So I decided to play as Jean stubbornly. And then I discovered all the ways that she can be faster. So entirely up to you. There is no right or wrong thing. Do some menu management here. Activate a large red. A lot of mashing. And the way I mash, I alternate back and forth, and I'm moving my controller into the other thumb as I mash. So all parts of my hands are being activated there. Frame perfect setup here. AI manipulation by shooting her and causing her to block. Didn't get it. Okay. Celine's light activated. We use the Kilgore exploit with the rockets on feet. Depletes almost an entire health bar. So after all of Isla del Sol, we have a very intense, difficult fight with Jean at the very end of not playing the game. I'm doing everything I can to cancel her attacks and get her the threshold while making sure she doesn't evade and manipulating her AI. Lock on, shoot a bunch of bullets, hold back. She didn't give me a leave. That's okay. I'm gonna get this kick here. That'll be threshold. Shoot bullets, get into Panther form. She launched a wave. Let me go ahead and get some more magic here. There we go. Witch time. Same thing. Panther form.
It's so weird to see John fight up against John.
She cooperated so well. I could not have asked for better at that last phase.
Wow.
Nice. That fight has a fluctuation of 30 to 40 seconds sometimes. So, all in all, I'm happy with that one.
So there was a quick question in chat. We know we talked about we can play this as Bayonetta. You know you can play this as Jean. You mentioned earlier that there was a third character you could also play this as. Is this character, does it have its own category? Does it have any new strats? Is it something that's being developed right now? Anything else along those lines?
The character's name is Zero. He's just a little floating guy. There's no other way to really describe him. I'll showcase him after, if that's okay.
Yeah.
He has no rigged animations, so he's just a floating guns and hands and feet. It's a very funny character. When he takes damage, he loses basically, unless you have like health upgrades, he goes down to 1 HP. Any source of
Oh,
damage.
goodness.
But you do get an accessory by default. So that's the only cool thing. And his running speed is like Panther form speed. The only downside is when you try to activate accessories, it eats magic with the one that he has on by default. You can't pick it up. There's no strats being developed by him, but I do want to do a run as him. As far as like characters go, there's no separate categories for characters. So Jean and Bayonetta are on the same category. It is genuinely preference, because there's things that I cannot do with Jean that loses me time, such as the Fortitudo fight in Chapter 1. Jean almost always loses time to that, because Fortitudo has really bad accuracy. And then especially in like a lot of fights, nerves can get to you, and you can just have human error. So I wouldn't say one character is better than the other.
Okay. Yeah.
But as Jean, you can infinitely evade. In like Chapter 5 when I was falling down really fast. Bayonetta can't do that because she's limited on her evades. And the Chapter 3 Lava Lake skip, she can't keep evading like Jean can. But that's like the biggest character differences. There is still movement you can do as Bayonetta after you get Panther form that is identical. Because the sections aren't as large and open. But in a section like this where I'm using Tetsuzanko on a boss, Jean does have an advantage. And I'll be showing a Jean routing for this boss, or this encounter as well. After we deplete the first health bar, he'll want to punch us off the gun. We make him recoil. We hit him with a Tetsuzanko. We wait for him to start his animation. We get off the gun. You'll see his like noodles do a little flip. There's a looping animation right there. And we just pelt him with a bunch of shots, get off the gun so he doesn't want to punch it. We hit him with Tetsuzankos locked on from that far away. There's the animation start. Get off the gun, and he's gone.
Wow, nice.
That saves a good 15 seconds.
GG.
A disadvantage that Bayonetta has, or Jean has compared to Bayonetta versus Fearless and Fairness, the dog enemies, you are able to get witch time off of like any attack really. As Jean, you would have to wait for a claw swipe. I got it. Okay. Wow. I don't think I've ever got the 4 in a run before. That's Zonko.
Very, very nice, yeah.
Yeah, there are genuine trade-offs between all the characters. So, genuinely play what you like.
Yeah. That's nice. That's nice to know, though, that each individual one has its own like advantage and disadvantages, so they even itself out no matter what in some weird way.
Mm-hmm. Lost my momentum there. And this is the technique using Tetsuzanko instead of Stiletto. Umbran Spear, get in range. Didn't get it off. You're gonna have to do this. Doing this for magic generation here. Almost a whole bar. Ooh, he barely hit me. And during that, you have to deal 1 damage to the boss just to get him to the next phase. There we go. Same strategy as the first time we encounter Golem. Okay. I'm gonna stare up at the moon here. Looks great out. Oh god, what is that? Shoot a bunch of rockets at his face. evade here. There we go. And if you do the Panther evades well enough, you'll be able to get all the way at the end here without the fire being in sight. A little bit of fun movement there, using Panther form in Tetsuzankos. And we have a slope. Going up the slope like that, I can use the first evade exiting out of Panther form to be one of the 2 evades that puts me into Panther form again. That movement alone has taken me like 10 hours just on that slope to perfect.
I don't think we ever actually see that character in the run. There's a lot of characters we actually don't see in this speed run, now that I think about it.
Yeah. The good news about Bayonetta 1, you can skip all cutscenes. The bad news is you can skip all cutscenes.
Yeah.
Depends on your outlook. I need
At least,
magic here.
at least like if it becomes if it becomes like bad comedy, it's almost like forced bad comedy, and it knows that it's bad comedy. If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah. That is my favorite thing about this run personally. On top of having 30 save files, you can effectively have like a save state for an entire chapter just by having 30 save files for 17 chapters. You don't need mods or anything. This game is very plug-and-play friendly, is what I would like to describe it. The only thing we use is the Ribituner extension, which locks the game at 60 FPS, so it doesn't speed up to 63. Because that's kind of unfair. Because that's just completely dependent on your personal hardware.
Yeah.
Ooh, I need some magic here.
That, and you have the save splitter, or yeah, like a save splitter to help make sure that those who have to spend a little bit more time on the load screens can still be able to get decent, you know, they don't have to worry about that playing a factor in the timing of their run.
Oh yeah, you can just minimize OBS, minimize live split. You don't need to look at it. Auto splitter, load time remover. It's perfect. And then being able to skip every single cutscene is just icing on the cake. You can just immediately get into a chapter and just start practicing it.
I also think the one thing that I would be a little bit concerned about is just being a civilian in this area. You know, one day you're just walking around, you're getting your groceries, you look up in the sky, and some 2 things are just flinging literal skyscrapers at each other.
Yeah, V-Grid is kind of falling apart. But this is actually, yeah, this is an island. They kind of knew. There we go. All right. So let's go with Pendra. As you can tell, Baldur is very powerful. He is the last remaining Lumen Sage. The Lumen Sage is the clan in opposition of the Umber Witches. The last 2 Umber Witches being alive are John and Bayonetta. Goodbye, Scolopendra. Okay, I do need 4 orbs of magic here. There we go. Ooh, he's off the arena. Nice. Okay, I got him with the Tetsuzanko. Alright, we are good. Hey, Baldur, what's your favorite month? Thank you.
I heard it, and I just like, it's got to be this. But then I actually heard it because of the delay, and it just perfect.
So, a fun fact. It is not possible to play Bayonetta for the entire run, even if you select Bayonetta as a playable character. You will always play Jean, no matter what. So even though we skip the cutscenes, Bayonetta has been taken captive by Baldur. We are going on a gigantic rocket, which is launching itself into space as Jean, trying to save Bayonetta. This entire time, Jean, the one we've been fighting in the story, has been mind controlled by Baldur. Baldur has taken Bayonetta captive, and he is serving as one of the eyes of the creator, Bayonetta as the other, which will be Jubileus, the final boss we're going to fight. Jean and Bayonetta have been good friends since childhood, but Bayonetta lost her memories at the beginning of the story. They've been separated for 500 years. She was asleep in a protective barrier, sealed underneath the lake by Jean to protect her. And this is my second favorite track in the whole run, or just the whole game in general. The soundtrack is called Friend. Despite everything, Jean is going up a rocket into space to save her one and only friend, Bayonetta.
That's so sweet.
The Jean from Bayonetta 1 is my favorite iteration of Jean. Well, I'm a little biased.
Yeah. All this reminds me, I need to finish Bayonetta 3.
It is a great game. If you want to learn strategies for Bayonetta 3, you should go to speedrun.com and click the little Discord icon to join the Bayonetta Anthology Speedrun Discord. Covers Bayonetta 1, 2, 3, and Bayonetta Origins, which that is also a game that I run.
And that's one that just came out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The one with a very artistic art style.
Yeah.
I love that game. That game is precious.
I've not touched it, but it looked like really, really fun to play.
It's great. I had a wonderful weekend playing that. The run is pretty lengthy, though. It's about 4 hours with all of the boss straps and routing currently.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. That is my project in the next few months, to get that run down to a better time. Gonna jump here. Get the long range punch kick punch on Jubileus. And as you can tell, during the first phase of Jubileus, I was able to kick rockets up into the air and hit Jubileus in the face with killable on feet. Jubileus, being the creator, can control elements. We're on the fire phase. I'm going to use Kilgore here to get magic, which will be pretty important. Alright, on to the ice phase. This one can be scary. You can get sunlocked and die if you're not careful. So for safety, I've brought a invulnerability lollipop. Uppercut. Parkour. Lock on Tetsuzanko. Jump to this one. If she didn't take away an entire bar of magic at the beginning of the fire phase, I would have done that for that one as well. But what can you do? And thankfully, because I do so much damage, I just immediately go to the electricity phase, air phase, whichever one you want to call it, without having to wait out certain different attacks or wait on RNG, which could potentially lose me time. Oh, that one's still there. Never mind, it's good. Waiting on the cycle, the platform will light up. Scripted parkour. I wish I could just jump from one to the other. Punch kick punch from range to hit the last one.
That was an interesting question. I think I've answered some of it, but someone asked, how many random elements are in this run? And the answer is yes.
I think this game has one of the least amounts of RNG of any speedrun I have ever seen or played. I've
Really?
not played that. Yes. The RNG is just where enemies are located when they spawn in. But some of that you can manipulate by where you're moving, where you're looking, and how you're moving. So it depends.
That's actually very shocking because it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. And then knowing how to play around that RNG is important. Because, like, the attacks that Jubileus has done for this phase and right now have been RNG, but it doesn't matter because I can still deal damage to her. Alright, for this one, neutral evade. And I'm going to scroll my camera up. As you can see, I'm just dealing damage to her throughout the whole fight. For certain
That's
things like
impeccable.
RNG, against the Jean fights, there is RNG with her attacks. She can behave really erratically. She has like an anger / frustration meter that builds up as you deal more damage to her or just knock her around. She'll parry you and then start evading very erratically, but you can minimize that by forcing her into the parry animation and then like sweeping her or doing a knockup or a kick that knocks her down. Same thing with the Joys. The Joys are the biggest RNG element of the whole game, actually. But even then, you can minimize it pretty easily by jumping on their heads, which resets their frustration meter and knocks them on the ground. So to finish off Jubileus, we summon Queen Sheba to punch Jubileus' soul out of the statue. We're in deep space at the end of the solar system, so we gotta go all the way to the sun. If we hit any of the planets, it is an immediate game over. And we have to reset this entire section all over again.
Oh no. Let's not have that happen.
Fun fact, if you have a yellow lollipop, it deactivates the hitbox of Jubileus' stat, or her soul. So you can just fly through the planets if you're having difficulty, and you're not really going for pure plat or anything.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's very funny. For some reason, that's not the case with Bayonetta and John or Zero. If you activate a invulnerability lollipop and like touch environmental damage like fire, you'll still take damage. So they coded that in for Jubileus' statue for some reason. I couldn't tell you. Alright, here we are. Jubileus is dealt with. There's her soul. We're not done. Here's the statue barreling to Earth. We have to break that, or the Earth explodes. I'm able to dash onto the spots if I have line of sight of them. There we go. And we're still not done. We have an entire playable post-credit scene as well.
I love how the game's like, but we're not there yet. But we're not there yet.
Yeah, it does that about 5 times.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll have 3 playable sections. The first 2, the time doesn't matter. But the last one is where I can save or lose time. These are just going to be flashback fights, and you get to see some of the actual characters that were in the cutscenes that I skipped in like a few frames, so sorry about that.
It's interesting that even with this, like, there's still stuff in the credits that you actually do, and it's actually in the speedrun, whereas a lot of times, some certain runs will be like, no, we end where the credits are.
Oh yeah, there's first person mode, by the way. Hi, John.
John just slowly showing up.
Also, as you can see, you can lock onto objects. That is how I've done some of the movement in the run, and it can lose you time if you're trying to attack. And it's locking onto a pot instead of John.
Plus we get the good, like, You know, we always talk here on the bargain, we always talk about music, and that's just even with like this, we won't see a whole lot of it, but the music in Bayonetta, it always has that jazzy vibe, that upper jazzy vibe, which is something you don't see a lot. Nice tenor sax solos and such.
The music in Bayonetta is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna showcase something that I didn't really be able to do in the run. If you head stomp an enemy and you switch weapons, it'll fire a shot from that weapon. If you do that with the rockets, it shoots off like 8 rockets. And it's as fast as every other weapon swap. Really cool glitch.
Yeah.
Alright, so after I kill the Beloved, which is the large big angel, as soon as his health bar depletes, that will be time. You're going to see me fight like 2 applauds, a few affinities, but as soon as the Beloved dies, that is time, officially. The game will freeze, and that'll be loss of movement. Alright, here it comes. That is timed.
Nice. GG.
Out of curiosity, what was my time?
Let me pull it up here and see if I can actually get the full time here. I think it was 1:35:38.
Wow. Okay. World record RTA, which is real time, no loads removed, is 1:34.
Wow.
So not a bad run. Especially
Not a
with
bad run
commentary.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I got a perfect Sapientia and perfect Balder, that would have been world record. I'm not kidding. I'm
Wow.
going to pause the game here because that is DMCA music. So
Very,
yeah.
very, very impressive. And I think we would. It looks like we got a little bit of time if you wanted to showcase. What was it?
Yeah. I'll showcase the secret character.
Yes.
So, to unlock this character, if you do all of the Offheims, which are optional fights, secret fights, you get to play as this character, Zero. Yeah. This is a character. No arms and legs. He plays the same as Bayonetta. This is his Panther form. He just runs really, really fast. And because he is Zero, he has the Infernal Communicator, which are these little buddies. As you punch and kick and attack, these little guys get sent out and attack enemies on your behalf.
Oh, that's nifty.
So what you can do with Zero is gain more magic, but lose... He does have the added benefit of gaining more magic. Let me showcase this off. As the trade-off of having more magic drain from having that be unlocked. A secret. Turn this off. Alright. If I take damage, look at my health bar. Boom. I'm almost dead if I have full HP.
Oh, what? There was a delay. Like, I'm watching with a delay, but wow. It looks like you have so much HP, but you really don't.
No, oh no, it's deceptive.
What a troll.
Yeah. And keep in
I'm
mind,
so down for it.
we get no health upgrades during the speed run, so you would actually be at 1 HP.
Wow.
He has the same rigging as Bayonetta, so if you do the taunt, he has no voice acting. He's a great little character. This is just his like run speed, his walk speed, and this is Panther form. Almost the same. And this is using the little demon buddies.
Yeah.
And he has the same behavior as Bayonetta, so you can get witch time before you take damage. And whenever you launch a bunch of Wicked Weaves out, jump cancel them like that, 3 in a row, you still have your little demon buddies helping you out. So, on paper, Zero should be faster than Bayonetta. Maybe, because you have more damage potential and you have faster magic gain, but there is very little room for error, which is the biggest concern. And during the Jean fight with Isla del Sol, you actually want to take damage, so you can activate Celine's Light, and against Baldur. So, that would be kind of an issue with the current routing. But yeah, that's all I got to show.
I bet if someone wanted to try, they may be able to come up with a route for that, and I would be down for that. Well, Reclaimer, thank you so much for showcasing that impeccable Bayonetta run. I know you mentioned it earlier, but for those who came in a little late and they're like, wow, this looks like really fun, I want to learn about it. This Bayonetta 1, 2, or 3, or Bayonetta Origins, where would anyone go to learn more information about any one of those runs?
The best place to go would you navigate to speedrun.com and click on the Discord icon for any of the 4 games. They're all under like their own category, so you should pull up any of them and it all works. Join the Bayonetta Anthology Discord and just ask around. I'm in the middle of making a bunch of resources with all of the movement that I've showcased. I have a lot of stuff that I need to like catch up on, but I'm finding so much so frequently, I would have to just kind of scrap everything every few months and start over. So I'm kind of holding off on that for right now.
Awesome.
There was also a new
sorry,
world record for Bayonetta 3 as of a few days ago by Ace Krana. And there was a new world record for Bayonetta 1 on the New Game Plus category by a Japanese runner, JG42, I think is his name. So the games are pretty active right now. Bayonetta 2, I think, is at least active at the moment. But who knows? That is the only game I haven't speedrun yet. So that is on my catalog. And I'll hopefully speedrun all games in this series in one sitting.
And if anyone wanted to follow you,
Reclaimer HVK on everything. YouTube, I have a secondary channel called Reclaimer VODs. It's all my clips. If I'm having an active speedrun discussion or just want to archive something, that's where I'll put it. And I reserve my main channel for like speedruns or like very meaty content. So,
yeah. Any other final shout-outs you'd like to say?
Thank you to Gala Sereni and Ace Krana. I watched Gala Sereni's run at Frame Fatals, and that's how I got into Bayonetta speedrunning. I was doing a casual playthrough back in October 2020. I saw her speedrun the game, and I was like, I need to try this. And here we are now. Ace Krana is the GOAT. He routed everything for Bayonetta 1. He's still playing Bayonetta 3 right now. He's going crazy. So, shout out to them. They're amazing. And the biggest Bayonetta supporter, Cap Revengeance. He's done Bayonetta 2 at GDQ. He's awesome. He's the most active mod for any run or any game that I've ever seen. He supports all games in the series. It's just him right now. So, he's great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so very much for showcasing that run once again. Yeah. And finally, one quick announcement. Don't forget, we are looking for new hotfix shows and showrunners. You can use !hotfix in Twitch chat or head on over to GameStoneQuick.com/hotfix to submit your ideas. This includes bi-weekly shows, limited run shows, stuff like Ocarina Improv, and the one-day events. Submissions made before June 13th will be considered for all of those open slots as well. So if you have anything, get it in. That will do it here for the bargain bin on this Monday night. Do not fret, though. We're not done here on the Hotfix channel. Coming up here at the top of the hour is Tiny Tree Fort, a beautiful little show that we have coming up afterwards. They're going to be showcasing Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 coming up tonight, and like I said, at the top of the hour, so stay tuned for that. Once again, it's a great time to get up, stretch, get some snacks in, use the restroom, hydrate, because hydration is important. And here at the Bargain Bin. We'll see you all in a couple of weeks as our bi-weekly schedule continues. Have a wonderful evening and enjoy Tiny Tree Fort.